Yeah. Well, the first one is basically what would be like an ideal morning routine for you? It's like if you can perfectly plan your morning, like how you start your day usually.
I'm not very much a morning person. I'm very grumpy in the morning. I'm very much in a bad mood in the morning. But an ideal morning, assuming I went to sleep earlier so I could actually get some sleep done. Uh, First things I like to do is a cup of coffee and actually get into reading something that's not technical. Right? I don't want to wake up and read about sales. Right? I will read something about um, lifestyle or mindset, philosophy, biography. I don't know, something light, something that just gets my brain going and actually gets some reading done. And I usually don't do breakfast at all. I don't eat anything until noon. Uh, I discovered later on that's called to be, what is it? Uh,
Intermittent fasting.
Fasting, which I do that. I discovered I was a very much experienced fasting practitioner for years, and then I just learned that it had a name very later on. Very much. That works for me. I actually like that because it keeps me sharp in the morning. If I eat, I get slow, and it's a very very simple morning routine. No big rituals. No, I would sometimes do Wim Hof's breathing uh, method. You might have heard of that Wim Hof, that crazy Iceman. You heard of him?
I have no. I don't know what that is. It's a cold shower.
Yeah. Well, in the simpler terms, yes. But he was basically the guy that broke every possible record about being in cold exposure. He was climbing mountains, cold, icy mountains with his shorts and staying in ice for hours and so on. So, but he basically advocates for breathing exercises and cold exposure. Sometimes I would take a cold shower, not every day. When I'm feeling low, I'll take a cold shower to get going. And the breathing exercise helps. When you wake up and you think, man, how all these things that I have to do, and you start getting a little anxious. The breathing actually helps me. Like, right, I got this. Let's do one thing at a time.
That's great. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, my it's important to have a mindful practice. Um, is there something recently that you started doing that significantly improved your life? Could be something you bought, could be something that you just recently changed. I like the example for me at least. Like I bought this shower Bluetooth speaker, and it really changed like my life. So I get to listen to music as I'm showering, and it's $15. I appreciate it a lot.
Uh-huh. No, I have something. Uh, have something that really helped me or changed. I wouldn't say it changed my life, but it was something I always wanted to do. Something that I had a frustration of not playing any instruments. I'm like, man, a human ought to play something. Right? I had this for a reason in my head. And nobody in my family plays nothing, so I don't know why I had this. But I just had this incomplete thing going, and I'm like, look, I'm not that young. I don't have that long to learn something, and I'm a lazy learner for this kind of thing. So, what is the easiest possible thing I can learn that's actually like lets me play something cool? And I figured it was the ukulele. So I bought a ukulele. It's about
I love it. Paulo. You're basically a perfect San Francisco hipster. You do intermittent fasting, cold showers, ice baths, and you play the ukulele.
but that was helpful, man. Actually, after Accenture bought Creative Drive, I had more. I left. I could leave, so I had more free time in my hands. So like I'm gonna do this.
Nice. Next question would be, what's your biggest fear?
My biggest fear. It's a tough one. I think my biggest fear are all health related, which is something that can be out of your control. I'm not afraid of anything that's reasonably within my control, right? Like, look, as you said, if we all go bankrupt, we could we have the brains to just make it through, right? Just get a job, worst case scenario. So I don't even see that being a possibility, but it's within my control. I'm scared of health stuff like me. What if I get into an accident, or what if I have cancer or some shit like that? Like that just pops, that kind of stuff that just ruins your life real quick. So health stuff scares me. It seems to happen like overnight all the time, and being out of the control in any possible way besides trying to stay healthy while what we eat and how we sleep and exercising is scary.
That's great. The other question is there something that you believe it's true that other people typically disagree with you?
That's a famous question from someone, isn't it? Is it from
Peter Thiel.
Peter Thiel? Yeah, that's that.
I love that question. Yes, it's a good question.
I read that question in his book, and I've been since trying to think an answer that fits me. Um, but that most people would believe it's not true. I would think being successful business-wise is maybe overrated. Like you can be happy with a lot less. And then my conclusion for that was like, I was not significantly happier after I was successful. I was just like as happy as before. Like I was happy with the journey and like with actually doing it, and like the actual fact that people put their eggs in this basket. Like if I get this, then I'll be happy, and that can be anything, but often is professional success. But it's a hollow expectation, right? The happiness is truly more in actually trying to get there than actually getting it, which is awesome, of course. But like that's not what essentially makes you happy. Like if I could have stayed and just tried to keep making more money, like staying, but that would have made me happier.
That's great. It's all about the journey, always. And then the last question: it's is there a company that you wish you would have started, and why? Or it doesn't have to be an existing company. It could be just an idea of like, hey, I think I would love to like if someone started this, or a company that you admire, basically.
One company that was very influential for me early on, I really liked reading uh, biographies of founders, right? And one of the most impactful ones early on uh, was The Difference Between Larry Ellison and God, which is a fantastic book.
It's a great book. I've read that book. It's a
I
good
wanted
book.
to be like Larry Ellison. Like this guy is badass. Like, he's kind of a dick, but he's badass. And I love how he did it. Like I wanted to have fun, or like I wanted to be that guy. Like, he has a lot of negatives. I'll give it to him. All right, but he's a badass. So that's one that as a dreamer early on, I was like, I wish I would have done AutoCommand. That's so smart. And just the database that the government uses, and how powerful is that he provides this kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I love Larry Ellison is a perfect answer. I think oftentimes because he was selling databases, people forget about him because we've all used Oracle products our entire lives because it runs a lot of the largest companies in the world, but we just don't see it, right? So it doesn't come up as often. Right, like people will say far more Elon Musk and Steve Jobs versus you know Warren Buff sorry Mark Benioff or Larry Ellison, right, which are as successful if not more than some of these other guys. But
Steve Case
Paulo.
or John Chambers, Cisco, who wants to be the founder of Cisco, but then those guys were the shit back then.
that's right, that's right.